Man, I feel like so nervous um doing stuff like this. Like just even the thought of it has like spun me out all day. Like the thought of like just sitting here talking to a camera by myself with nobody around for a couple of minutes is like petrifying for me. Last night I had it wasn't even crazy. It was just, I had a really interesting dream. So a couple of days ago, just before I recorded the first video that I made, I sat in my room and I literally cried my eyes out. I sobbed my eyes out because of this feeling that I have all the time of wanting to do something, wanting to put myself out there, wanting to step out of my comfort zone, but being petrified, being too scared to do it. And I prayed to God and I asked him, please, man, like I've learned so many lessons. I just want to be blessed. I just want you to please take away this fear. Just give me courage. Give it to me as a blessing. And then all yesterday I had a headache, like all yesterday. My brain just felt like there were like, it felt like electricity was just like firing off on my brain, in my brain all day yesterday. And it was really uncomfortable. Um, and then last night I went to bed and I had this dream that I had, multicolored hair, like rainbow colored hair. And the bottom half of it had gone frizzy and disgusting. And I started pulling chunks out of the bottom of my hair. And then all along this line, along the bottom of my hair, there was like a line where I removed all of this hair. And then I looked it up today and it was talking about a lot of different things, you know, that seeing hair in your dream means that it's about self-expression and the color of it means something. And then all this stuff about rainbow colors meaning creativity and new life and birth and whatever. And, you know, to be honest, like I don't really want to make these videos about God or like my relationship with God or my understanding of spirituality or how I don't really get down with like the whole, um, how I don't get down with religion as a concept. I got views on that. Um, but I just found it really interesting that those things have happened in sequence. And here I am making this video, even though I feel scared. And what's my point? I don't know. What's my point? I think the thing that the thing that's come into me now is the way in which this trauma, whatever trauma that I've had, that's caused me to fear being seen, being like vulnerable, because not everybody feels this, right? There are some people that are really comfortable and they probably have their own issues. They probably have other stuff that comes up for them. But for me, this is a real big issue. And I guess the thing is that it is literally like a physical thing, you know, this trauma that I had, this decision that I made at some point in my life that doing this was literally going to kill me. It's like, I feel like if I do this, I am literally going to die. So there is a point at which it was so unsafe to be myself, to show up as myself, to be seen as myself, to put something out into the world as myself and feel safe. That was clearly not something that was safe for me. It still lives 40 years later in my body. And I don't think that the answer is necessarily just praying and hoping that I'm just going to be like endowed and imbued with this sense of courageousness that it's suddenly going to feel safe. I guess the thing is, and I don't even think it's about necessarily just like pushing through and having willpower. I think it's about acknowledging that this fear that I feel, even though it feels really real, it isn't. It's like a hangover, the residue of some decision that I made at a very young age about what I needed to do in order to be safe and to be loved and be protected and belong and survive. And even though the awareness of it doesn't take away the pain, the actual like physical pain of it, I guess it helps me to have a slightly more objective perspective, a slightly more detached, like kind of that macrocosmic perspective of what's going on for me so that I can process it. And hopefully that will help for me to forge forward. Let's see. Let's see how my midlife crisis goes. Eh?